Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to improve fast, so we'll be going over a lot of things in today's video, such as making sure that you're getting quality practice, following the meta, making sure that you're improving on your mistakes, and isolating your problems. So let's get right into the video. Getting quality practice is the cornerstone of improving fast, because if you spend all your time playing arena or customs or however you'd like to play, rotating in a ball, you're going to do very well in those games. But the amount of practice you're going to gain from that is very minimal because you're going to spend all your time going in a ball, and it just makes everything a lot easier. And you're not going to get that crucial practice in the early, mid, and late game that you're playing those customs or whatever you're playing to improve. And you're kind of just throwing all that practice out the window because that ball might not be there in a future season. There might not be a OP movement like planes or balls available to you, and then you're going to have to rotate in those situations without those, and not having that practice is going to put you at a pretty big disadvantage. Customs right now are probably the best way to improve because as players who are actively seeking out to improve by playing in customs, and as well the Discord's put a limit on when you can start fighting, so second or third zone, so that means your end game's going to be pretty stacked, and end game is really where you learn a lot because you'll have to make sure your mechanical skills good enough, that your game sense, and everything else, your micromanagement, because there's going to be a lot going on in those situations. You're going to have multiple players trying to fight you. You're going to have to be able to make sure you're rotating in time, that you're staying on height if you'd want to, or taking height. And there's a lot going on, and it's going to help you learn a lot because when you lose in those late game situations, you can see what your enemy did right and what you did wrong. And that carries over into our next point. Taking those extra couple of seconds after every time you die, just to think about what exactly you did, is really important, as you can usually pick it out quite easily if it was something obvious, but sometimes I recommend hopping into replay mode and looking at what was going on in those situations, because especially late game, you're not going to be able to tell so easily sometimes. And what's great about replay mode is you can look at your exact perspective as well as your enemy's perspective, so you can learn a lot from what they exactly did. I think it's a really great way to improve on what your mistakes were and learn on how to counter your mistakes. And this is where you can start to isolate your main problems within the game. If you feel like your mechanics aren't up to par, it's a little bit easy to fix. Just hop into some creative mode. You can do some edit courses, aim courses, or just free build, and that's a great way to build up some muscle memory and practice just about anything you'd like. Otherwise, hopping into some 1v1s is another great way to practice all three. You get to go against really good players and learn some of the moves you'll see some players use in game. A couple of different ways to improve your game sense is looking at how pro players handle situations, as they of course know how to do things a lot better than most players and can pick apart their own gameplay quite easily. Otherwise, just playing as many games as possible is a great way as well, because that's the only way you can be able to experience those situations firsthand, and that way you can gain some pretty knowledgeable experience from it. Following the meta to an extent is important, because you need to stick with a loadout that you feel comfortable with, but that it's strong enough in the current meta. For example, choosing to take a silenced SMG over a drum gun is not a good choice in this current meta. Even though the drum gun was just nerfed, it's still one of the best guns in the game for the fact it has a 50 round clip, it has a huge DPS, and it's really good at medium and close range. On the flip side, looking at something you can easily decide between, for example with ARs, for the blue AK, blue AR, and the blue infantry rifle, it leaves a lot of preference in between the three, because they all have different mechanics, how they shoot, their sprays, everything like that. It's all different between the three, and it comes down to preference, as one I wouldn't really say is too much more overpowered than the other, as they all have really great situational uses. It's one that you can choose between easily. Alright, that is going to wrap up today's video there, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel a lot. Other than that, I do want to mention I added the tactical assault rifle into the shotgun aim facility, so I'll have the code for that down in the description with the updated gun. Other than that, I think that's gonna be all, so I'm gonna leave one more clip after this. I no scoped some dude and it was sick, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys all in the next one.